What's up, everybody? Dark Knight 316, Robert Wheeler Gaming, and this is the Tackles and Takedowns Podcast. Alrighty. So, it's just a few days before WrestleMania, so all this stuff is heating up, and stories are starting to get cemented, and everything like that. So, we'll look at the Raw highlights right now. So, right here, you see Brock Lesnar sign contract for his match against Obafemi. He says you won't even know his name after WrestleMania. Ooh.
Well, I mean, we already made our picks, but I think that this is going to be an interesting one because I don't think Obafemi. I think it's gonna, like I've been saying, I think it's gonna be tough with Obafemi later on because he's a big guy, so it's harder for bigger guys to really make an impact these days in wrestling because there's not so many of them wrestling.
Well, if they're built like Brock Lesnar, then they're supposed to be a draw. But
yeah, but you think like, okay, so if, let's say after they have a great match at WrestleMania, then when Obafemi faces somebody else later on in the next pay-per-view, like it may not be a good match because he's not going to face a big guy. Like, he'd have to have a feud with Gunther. That probably won't happen. Maybe, okay, so then after that, then you're going to do like a David Goliath kind of thing with, Cody Rhodes will face him.
He's not a tall dude. He's
he's pretty tall, though.
He's built just like Brock Lesnar, so he can face anybody and it'll be like that.
From what I saw, he's a pretty tall guy.
But the thing I think is probably going to be a problem here is the name Obafemi, because like for me, it's like when you're trying to look at like history and you're like going down the thing, it's like Obafemi doesn't kind of like stand out for, whereas like Brock Lesnar, like that's a name, like even though that's his real name and stuff.
Okay, he's 6'6", so I mean that's tall, but I was thinking he might be a little bit taller.
Yeah, he's not like like Big Show type.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So maybe he might actually then do a lot better because he's 6'6". I mean, 6'6" is tall.
Yeah,
but it's not like Braun Strowman tall. That's kind of how I was thinking for
and so
for him though. But.
So he's built pretty good like Brock Lesnar, but I just don't think that he's going to. Like, he's not the next big thing, like how they booked Brock Lesnar when he came, because I think it's the name. I think if maybe he had, like, a more powerful name, maybe. Because, like, when, like, Bobby Lashley was built like a big, like, the Destroyer and stuff like that, like, that sounds cool. Like, Bobby Lashley rolls off the tongue, kind of stuff like that. I mean, even, like, Lyra Valkyrie, like, that thing rolls off the tongue, like you do about Obafemi. I don't think that rolls off on there. But who knows? I mean, it might, because, like, Jacob Fatu, like, that rolls off,
Yeah, but wasn't he not called Jacob Fatu when he came in? He was called something else, and then they called him, like, Jacob Fatu.
No, he was Jacob Fatu.
It's kind of weird, because, like, it was, like, Solo Sikoa. They all had names, like, something like that.
Yeah.
And then he comes in, his name's Jacob.
And then here, Lyra Valkyrie defeated Charlotte Flair. And it looks like Bayley at ringside. Bayley came back to grab the queen and caused her fall down as she was attempting a pin. Quickly used the momentum.
So they're tag champs again, the Charlotte Flair and because they said
they're headed into the 4-way.
Oh, it's a 4-way. Okay. Oh, cause it's still the what's her name? I can't think of her name right now.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's still her. I hope, like I said, I like Lyra Valkyria. I like her. I think I don't think they'll give her like the push of like what she's gonna be, but I kind of feel like she kind of has that. She kind of has that reign of Becky Lynch early on in her career. I think that's kind of that's a feeling I get with Lyra Valkyria, where Becky Lynch kind of didn't get that push, and then she reinvented herself. and then it ended up becoming real popular.
If you watch our other episode where we did our WrestleMania prediction, I still say Charlotte and Alexa is probably going to win that match and become the champion. I don't see them giving it to Bayley and Lyra, even though that would probably be the better choice, because I doubt that they'll. I mean, the only two likely choices that would be better to do is to give it to the Bayley and Lyra, or let the Lash Legend and whatever Nia Jax or whatever.
Yeah, they'll probably keep the belt again.
Like that's the only likely thing, because like the Bella Twins, the only way the Bella Twins will win the title is if the rest of the team make them look good enough to go do it, because the Bella Twins suck. Every time that they're in the ring, like, it looks horrible. Like, they shouldn't have even came back. They're just coming back because they need that like push, because now they're kids.
Yeah, but you know, you think though, like, there isn't anybody like what's her name, Sol Ruka. Like, you couldn't put her in there, pair her with another woman to be able to tag, like, give her an opportunity to wrestle, but you had to bring back the Bella Twins to be able to wrestle. Like, you could have given an opportunity to somebody else. Like, Sol Ruka had that really good Royal Rumble.
Give it to the Maxine Dupree. They could have given it to.
But that's the thing though. Maxine Dupree isn't facing Natty at WrestleMania, which they should have had. That was a good feud, I think. And I think
here's another fierce brawl, but like, you could barely.
Hey, is that TJ in the? Is that him as like working the security or whatever?
I don't know, but
that looks like him.
You couldn't even see Stephanie Valcour, because the way that her face is turned, it looks like Liv Morgan is punching that dude. And
that dude looks like TJ.
It might be.
I think he is, because he works backstage.
You know who it might be? That Jason Jordan, the one that was supposed to be Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
I think that's who that is. Or is that Jason Jordan?
It could be too, but yeah, I thought it was kind of a Tyson Kidd. That might have been him too.
Usos and LA Knight defeat Solo Sikoa, because Solo Sikoa, Tonga Loa, and JC Mateo in the 6-man tag. Yeah. Because the one MFT guy, what's the name? Right here. Tama Tonga showed up at ringside, and LA Knight took advantage of it. So they're saying that Tama Tonga might leave the
BFTs.
BFT is the LA Knight's finisher. He might leave the MFTs on it, because, like I was saying, I think that what they're trying to do is bring the new Bullet Club, and they're going to do it with Shinsuke, Tongaloa, and bring in like the new age of Bullet Club, because now that AJ Styles retired, and I believe one of the New Japan people are either coming to WWE or they're retiring too. Like, that Bullet Club name, like, I think they bought it.
They're able to use it.
Bought it or whatever.
They got so the Usos and LA Knight are going to face Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ISHO Speed. Dang, that no disrespect to Austin Theory and all those guys, but like, LA Knight got the short end of the stick, because he should have been in a championship match.
Austin Theory and Logan Paul are the tag champs,
and they're not defending the belts at WrestleMania.
No,
so they're going to still stay the champions. Going past the
triple threat. Yeah. So now you're going to hear, probably when they come out, instead of doing the Uso Penitentiary, it'll probably be that Yeet. And they'll roll it back, and then LA Knight will come out, and they're going to roll his music back.
And see, that's the thing, though, is like, so now you have Jey Uso kind of no longer a champion, and like grand stage. He went back to tag team to try to win the tag champs. And that's the thing I think is weird, though. Like, you do not have a good tag team right now. Like, you haven't seen, like, like, the Usos will probably go down as, one of the greatest tag teams of all time, but you haven't seen like a team that they're a tag team, maybe going through the ranks at NXT, coming through, winning the world tag title, like the Demolition. You haven't seen anything like that. So
the Wyatt family, like, they won the tag titles.
Yeah, now
and the MFTs won it. And then
but you haven't really had anybody who's like, what about Motor City Machine Guns?
I don't even know if they're still there. They might just be in like NXT or whatever.
But why? Because they were Impact Wrestling. Now they don't get a push. Like they're a true tag team.
I think that's secretly. I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
to a bunch of these, because like look at LA Knight. He's over with the crowd. Like, everybody loves him. He should be a world champion because he can work the crowd. But for some reason, Triple H does not like him because he got over on himself. So these people that has been in like TNA and all that stuff like that, like look at Matt Cardona. Like they're not going to give him a push anymore because he was over in the Indies after they saw, Zack Ryder, he's not that great. Like the highest achievement he got was the IC belt.
And when he came back, though, he came back as Matt Cardona.
Well, he first came back as Zack Ryder, but then he was like, Zack Ryder's dead. I'm Matt Cardona now.
Yeah,
but he had to come back as Zack Ryder because
I think he got the good one though because like his wife has been doing really well.
Yeah,
so it's kind of one of those where it's like also building that relationship for her to bring her husband back. But that's the thing though, is Chelsea Green too. She's a good wrestler, and it's like I don't think she's going to get the push because she's not of the women's division.
Yeah,
and she's a really good wrestler. So
I mean, she's won the
Intercontinental or whatever,
but US or whatever like that for it. But
like, how many times do you think you are going to have to see Rhea Ripley now? Like that's the thing too. Is I think Rhea Ripley's good, but how many times do you have to keep pushing her for a title? And you got to think too, like even during these times when like the 4 horsewomen won the titles, like how many opportunities were taken away from other people who could have had the potential. Like for instance, I really liked Nikki Ash when she won the title, even as a superhero, but it was kind of like, okay, they didn't give back to Rhea Ripley, and it was like you could have pushed that opportunity to see how far.
Their excuse with Triple H and all them is they gave you that opportunity. You didn't get it over with the fans. They're gonna put it over with what the fans want. And
that's the thing too. Is like when Liv Morgan started coming up, I was like, I really think Liv Morgan would do good. And they actually started pushing her and things like that. But like also Liv Morgan's going to have a run where it's kind of going to be tiring, and you're going to have some of these new NXT stars coming in there and starting to like who's your. Is it going to be Stephanie Vacor's like your new big woman's wrestler? Like who's going to be your next big woman's wrestler that comes out? Like Tiffany Stratton probably won't be around much longer.
Yeah, she says she wants to do movies,
and I think she ain't
going to be around.
She's really good too. But so it's
you also got to think about it too. Like when they gave it to Naomi, like that was a big push there because people wanted something new because you kept seeing Charlotte winning it. I mean, like as much as like I like Alexa Bliss, like she doesn't need to always win the title every single time. And like when they kept back in the day giving it to like Bayley, Charlotte, Becky Lynch,
and it would just be like
Sasha Banks, and it was like
the loop around like that, and just giving all them.
Like, that's how it was with the Ruthless Aggression era with like John Cena and all that stuff. It was only like certain people that were up at the top, always winning the belts, always in the main events like that, and that's why it started to get boring. And I stopped watching at that time like that when it was like you and all these people there, and then I slowly would keep picking it back up and like
here and there, and
watching like Edge winning the title, and I was like, oh, Edge, I wouldn't think.
And then it was kind of like Edge won it like 10 times. You're kind of like, okay, I'm tired of this. But and this is the same problem you are seeing currently with the rest, because how much can Cody Rhodes is in his 40s now, right? So it's like, how much more can Cody Rhodes keep pushing that you can keep getting, like, fans are going to keep liking him and things like that. And then who is that younger wrestler that you're building up to be able to take the reins? Like when they brought the Shield, and then the Shield, you saw potential in all 3 of those guys, and then they, of course they became real big, but like who is the one maybe from NXT? Maybe you have him on the roster now. But like Austin Theory could have been the guy, but you buried him.
He was a Vince McMahon guy.
Like, I don't think Jacob Fatu is going to be one of those. Solo Sikoa, I don't think so either. Like, Usos are older. Roman Reigns is older. Seth Rollins is older.
With the Solo Sikoa and all that, like they gave him a belt. He didn't go really over with fans. That's why they gave it to him. Get it over. But like you got to give these ones that are not the paper champions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like same with like Drew McIntyre. Like he was a paper champion because they really wanted, you know, Randy to go over there, Cody to go get it like that. Like, they need to stop doing these paper champions. Give these people, like, you know, 3 to 6 months as champion to try to, like, wait until the next big pay-per-view. Since they always have the 4 big pay-per-views, like, give the person from, like, let's say they win it at WrestleMania, give them until SummerSlam to try to get over with the crowd, try to work their stuff and all that. If they don't do it, they lose it at SummerSlam. Then the next person there, whoever you give it to, whatever like that, has until Survivor Series.
Yeah,
and like you just
could give them a couple
like
months,
so that then
you give them a couple months to be able to test it out.
Then you can test it out, because then you could say, "Hey, I gave you this opportunity. You couldn't get over with the fans. That's on you. That's not on us."
And you got to think too, like a lot of these guys that they're pushing right now, the Drew McIntyres, the Cody Rhodes, like all those guys, they're older. So you got to think like how many years are left in these guys.
Yep.
And especially too, like let's say LA Knight, he's older, but if you're not going to give him a push, eventually he's not going to get that push, and it's like done. Like you had somebody when AJ Styles came over, and he still had a good 10 years you got out of him. You know, roughly a little bit over 10 years, but like you got a good amount. He got the whole treatment of being able to wrestle, you know, win titles, stuff like that. Like you got a good push out of him. But I can't see somebody right now, because if you look at all these older guys, what if in 1 or 2 years they want to retire? Like Gunther's even older too. And you got to think Gunther and Seth Rollins, they're older wrestlers. They may not, you know, take that time to, like, I was thinking like Braun Breaker might actually be able to be that guy, but he doesn't have a whole skill set of like in-ring abilities.
Like, you got to come up with different moves, because like how many people got to have the spear? Like, yeah, it looks like a devastating one. Each person could have their own different ones, but how many people have to have the same move? Just like with the super kick. Like how many people got the super kick? Like, come up with a different move that, one, you can do it on anybody, and two, it's not going to hurt.
Why don't he just have a Superman punch? I think he should have had. I think he should have the jackhammer. Is the one I think he should have had, because nobody's really doing the jackhammer.
But you got to think though, he may not be able to do it on everybody.
Yeah,
you don't want it to be the Ryback situation.
That's true. Where he couldn't pick up Prince Albert.
Supposed to be strong enough to everything, and he could barely. Pick up,
he redeemed himself with that follower when he beat him in like 13 seconds. But is Bronson Reed injured too?
Yes.
So Bronson Reed's injured. Braun Breaker's injured.
That's why they gave it to.
Seth Rollins came back from injury.
Yeah, that's why they gave Austin Theory and
Logan Paul
like the push, because both of the other ones were injured.
It sucks too.
Remember that Bronson Reed did that like
tsunami splat?
No, he did that roll thing and then like hit his like weird like elbow or whatever.
And that's the thing though with Seth Rollins, like he was starting to have a good run, and then he injured himself. It seems to happen to him when you give him the title. He has this good run, and then injures himself.
Yeah. Well, with like Seth Rollins, like he used to want to do Hollywood. He was supposed to be in one of the Marvel movies, but they cut it out at the last minute, so he left to go do that stuff there. Becky Lynch now wants to do more movies there, because now she got the bug and stuff like that. I want to do, because she's in Happy Gilmore 2. And so she got that bug there. But let's continue on with this one. Kairi Sane defeats Io Sky.
That's starting to get old too for them facing each other.
Asuka repeatedly interfered in Kairi Sane's match. Rhea Ripley merged attempt to neutralize the Empress of Tomorrow. There's Obafemi there, given his signed contract match against Brock Lesnar, and Paul Heyman said, "I am the one who will put an end to the beef."
I'm curious to know. Like, I can't wait till WrestleMania, but I gotta get through the week.
See, like Obafemi still needs to work on things and stuff.
Well, I mean, technically,
because he was in the ring trying to do the signed contract, and then Triple H was out there, to do the contract, and he's like, "Oh, do you have something to say to Paul Heyman?" Like, Obafemi's not like aware of like what he has to do, so then that's why he was like, "Oh yeah, I am the guy who's going to defeat the Beast. Like, Obafemi is there, and like we've seen numerous times where Brock Lesnar's like, put your foot on me and point to WrestleMania. Like, it'll look better.
he's still learning though. Like he's still, but
it's like, he's still learning and stuff like that. But like, maybe do that in NXT. Don't do it where it's like Monday Night Raw, where it's supposed to be the big leagues, like, and you're only coming up because you're the big guy that like is supposed to be the next Brock Lesnar, and so and they basically had to give him the push because Braun Breaker was injured. Braun Breaker was probably going to face Brock Lesnar, but now we have Dragon Lee and Javon Evans defeat Rusev and JD McDonough.
I think Rusev's going to get the short end of the stick too.
I hope not. I hope that they give Rusev the IC belt.
You know what I think is going to be bad though, because he got over with that whole Rusev day, and like he's not using it right now. But I think if people would be like Rusev Day,
well, he's back at doing like
he's like a bad guy now. But
his Bulgarian one, Bulgarian brute. But like, I could see him like. I think it'll be dumb if they give it to Rey Mysterio, but I could see them giving it to him so he can face Dominic, and because supposedly he was supposed to face Gunther, but he was injured. But then when they're like Gunther faces Seth Rollins, now he's mysteriously not injured anymore.
But I mean, also too, Rey Mysterio is a Hall of Famer. He shouldn't be wrestling.
Yeah, but Gunther's supposed to get rid of these legends.
And that's the thing, too. I like Rey Mysterio, but I think that takes away opportunity from other wrestlers who could be given the stage to be able to, like, shine. Is there not a wrestler that you could replace Rey Mysterio with to give them an opportunity at WrestleMania? But you use Rey Mysterio because he's a legend.
And then for this match here, as much as I don't like either of these people, and
you don't throw the ones up,
and I really don't like Roman Reigns, and I really don't like CM Punk.
Then why are you watching wrestling?
I like Roman Reigns more than CM Punk, but like I have to give props to Roman Reigns for reinventing himself, because he was just nepotism with being the Rock's cousin, and the Rock helping him out, and everybody booed him and hated him and liked him in the sea. But when he did the Tribal Chief stuff, that was the best thing for his career.
That made him one of the best wrestlers you gotta say of all time.
But CM Punk just is, one, I don't think he's really that great of a wrestler. Two, I don't think he should be champion, because I don't think he's that big of a draw like they think he is. Like when he was in AEW and stuff like that, like a lot of people, I mean, or at least in my opinion, like I thought he was just, like he should just stay retired, not even come back to wrestling, because he's not that great of a wrestler. And with the era of like all these new wrestlers coming up and stuff like that, like I don't think he can handle.
Well, considering the fact, remember, I'm never coming back to the WWE. I don't care how much they pay me. Oh, he burned his bridges in AEW, and who wanted him back? WWE, and he came back. So the price must have been right for him to come back. And you always got to think, all these guys say that when they get, they have some kind of issues with WWE. I'm never coming back. All this, and then Dolph Ziggler is going to return.
Look at Cody Rhodes. He took Triple H's chair on the first debut of AEW and then beat it down. It's like, well, this is what I think of you, Triple H, and blah, blah, blah. And now look, he's in WWE. Because
ultimately, the WWE is the grandest stage you want to make it to. So no matter how much smack you talk.
So it's like, if you could make it in WWE, you made it.
Like how much MJF is going to be like, when his contract's up, he's going to want to run to the WWE if AEW is not going to pay him what he wants. Like MJF's going to be your hot wrestler who's going to come to, by the time he comes to WWE, you're going to have the CM Punks and the Roman Reigns probably pretty much done because these guys are probably going to be retired.
Like the EC3 thing. When EC3 came to WWE, he was like, popular and stuff like that. But again,
they buried him.
They bury the people that that get over on themselves and
he should have
from other companies.
He should have at least had a good like mid card run to kind of see how good he is. But I don't think they're not going to give it to him. So
no,
that's one of those where like EC3 is coming back to Impact Wrestling, which I think he should have stayed, never left, because I think he's made a no pun intended impact in Impact Wrestling. But I also think it's one of those that like if the WWE took him now because that partnership, they're probably gonna bury him. They're not gonna be able to figure out what he could do. But you also got to think too, EC3. It was kind of hard to say that you're Ethan Carter III because you're Dixie Carter's kid or nephew or whatever. And then you go to WWE and you're EC3 and they're like, wait a minute, how are you?
Yeah, but like, also it's weird having your names changed because they just now did a promo, which they don't do too much anymore, like how they did with Razor Ramon when they were introducing him and he'd come up and he'd be like, yo chico, and like have the things like and beat up on people. They're doing that with the Hobbs guy, which is now that Royce Keys or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah. They're having him come out and like doing those vignettes and he's like, I had a hard time growing up and blah 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 like that. And they're doing all these promos to try to reinvent him and stuff like that. So I think excuse me. I think it's weird when they come to like WWE and they got like a different name and stuff like that. Like I understand it, but if you've already made a name for yourself, like, and maybe it could be that they didn't come up with it, and that could be but like that Ricky Saint, like it's like he was Ricky Starks in AEW, but then now he's over here Ricky Saints, and it's like, and then same with the dude that was from Impact that was part of the tag team with the guy with the kind of like the Kurt Angle one. I can't think of his name. He's with I know who you're talking about. He was the North American champion.
And see, he should get a push too.
Ethan
Page is pretty good, but that's where I'm also saying too, like by the time Ethan Page gets up to the main stage, he's also older as well. So it's like you got a lot of these guys who are making names for themselves who are older, and you're going to maybe get a good 5 years out of them for a push. And if you don't get a good push out of them in 5 years, they're pretty much done and they go back to the indies in their 40s, kind of like just looking for an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, like, I'm not a big fan of title jumping. You're giving everybody the title, blah, blah, blah. But, like, you could take feuds and start building feuds. Yeah. And start drawing and making them popular. I think that they have is because now that, like, I don't know how much of it is fake and stuff like that, but like when they have that WWE backstage thing that they show now, and that they show on how Road Dogg got fired. But basically, it's like all these writers are coming up with trying to do storylines and stuff like that, but they got to pass by Triple H, and then Triple H is like, well, what's the next like six years or 6 months for? Well, they can go fight that. Well, the fans have already seen that. Like they already fought this one. Like blah blah blah. And it's like, well, let them build up on all these. Like let it like marinate. That's why I like a lot of these storylines and stuff like that. Like you see that it's all crap, and you'll see too. Like if you try to push for the fans are gonna tell you like, yeah, no, we don't like we don't like it, and then that basically that guy's
and
girls.
Well, what's weird is in Impact Wrestling, Abyss came back, so I don't think he's a writer with WWE anymore on there. So
see, like if you look at I'm looking at Ethan Page right now, he's 36. So
is that his actual name?
No, that's not his actual name. Okay. But if you think he's 36 now, so let's say he goes up in the ranks, he comes next year, 37. He's got a good 5 years in him. He's in his 40s. He's going back to Impact Wrestling, trying to make a name for himself and all that. Like, you're pushing these guys a little bit too late. And same thing with I think Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry, but I mean,
he got over on his own in Impact Wrestling, and he's not getting too much over now. And like I think it ran its course now in NXT because of it. But yep, that's all of our take on Raw. I mean, stay tuned for WrestleMania. see if our results are, what we picked is correct. We'll
pump it up, pump it up, pump it up,
but
pump it up.
Let's see. Let me key in the. Nope. Let me get this one. It's not this one. It's this one. All right. I think The Rock has something to say.
Take a look.
Oh, he doesn't have something to say. Let's get the volume up on here.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not playing then. But, let's see. Well, if you didn't know from The Rock not saying anything, this is our segment where we do the wrestling 20 questions. I'll put it on this one.
So, let's see. You already full screen that one.
I'll full screen it on this
one. Go
one.
back to the picture. There you go, right there. And then click the button and full screen that one. There you go. Full screen it.
Yeah, there you go. I'm learning this moves on here, but this is wrestling 20 questions. If you didn't know what it is, we ask well, in this game, it's going to be Robert Wheeler Game is going to ask 20 yes or no questions.
Can I ask 21 questions?
You're trying to guess the wrestler that I have selected this week. Last week, I guessed it within like the 19th
because you cheated
question on there. He claimed
you cheated
that I cheated.
You cheated yet again.
I did not cheat on it, but that's how you do it. You got 20 questions to try to ask yes or no questions to try to guess who the superstar is that I'm picking on there. So go ahead and try starting now. This would be your first question.
All right. So is this wrestler wrestled before the 2000s?
Yes.
Okay. So we're looking more attitude 80s, 70s guy. Now, did he wrestle or she wrestle in the Attitude Era?
The Attitude Era, no.
Okay, so now we're looking mid 90s to 80s. Now, is this wrestler, did they win the WWF or WCW title at the time?
What WWF or WCW title? Like
world title.
The world title?
Were they a champion?
Let's see.
Because if it's mid 90s, then we're looking. You pretty much only had one title.
No.
So okay. So were they a mid card champion?
No.
No. Okay. Tag team champion.
Yes.
Okay. So they were a tag team champion during this era of wrestling. Was that 5? I'm on 6.
Yeah, you're on 6. Yes.
Is this wrestler in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Okay. Kind of leading to this wrestler. Did both these wrestlers win the title, the tag team championship in the WWE, and later on go to WCW?
Yes.
Okay. I think I might know who it is if I'm getting it correctly. Now, did one of these wrestlers from the tag team end up reinventing himself later on before the Attitude Era in the WWF?
No.
Okay, so it's not who I'm thinking. So I'm thinking tag team, not Attitude Era. So it can't be that tag team I'm thinking of. Is this tag team anybody part of the family line, the bloodline? Are they part within that kind of? I can't think of what their family name is, but like within.
So you're not saying that they're part of the Samoan bloodline?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
They're not part of that?
They're part of like the Roman Reigns family, Rock's family.
So
do they have a lineage?
So are you saying that they're part of the Rock family, or that they have a family history in WWE?
Or like, do they have the lineage? So I guess family history within WWE.
Yes.
Now, is it the Samoan family history?
No.
Okay, so family history, the one tag team title. Okay, so is this wrestler before the 90s? Did they wrestle?
Yes, they've wrestled before the 90s.
And now, did they start their career in the 80s?
I would say yes. That
They started their career in the 80s, or they wrestled in the 80s.
They wrestled in the 80s.
So then they were a 70s, 80s wrestler who happened to maybe wrestle a little bit over in the 90s.
They got their popularities in like the 80s and 90s.
Okay, so if they're popular, they're a tag team.
Now I'm only picking the one person.
Yeah, I know, but if he's part of a tag team, he won the title. He wrestled in the 70s and 80s. And he would have won.
And he wrestled in the 90s.
And a little bit in the 90s, though. Okay. Does this person have family currently wrestling as like a second or third generation superstar?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did this person have a kid who is a second generation recently passed away?
Yes.
Then I think I might be leaning to, I might know who it is, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so
you're on question 15 now.
I'm on question 15.
Yes.
So you said he was like 70s, 80s wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Won the tag team title.
He also wrestled in the 90s.
Yeah, he wrestled a little bit in the 90s. I'm trying to think. I think I know who it is. Was he a gimmick wrestler?
Weren't they all
in the 90s?
Like, weren't they all in the 80s and 90s?
Not all of them, but so yes. Okay, so he was a gimmick wrestler. Okay, well, I think I might know who it is, but I'm not 100% sure. Based off because,
so you're on 16.
Based off, you said family history, and it's not Samoan dynasty. And then if you tag team, if the guy who I'm thinking of does have family history, okay, I think I don't know if I should ask this question because it's going to easily give it away. Well, if it is correct,
if it's correct and it easily gives it away, then you can guess it right now.
Is his son Bray Wyatt?
Yes.
Then I am going to guess that it's Mike Rotunda, aka IRS.
Yes. You got ding, 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 ding. Do you know the reason why I picked it?
Because the last time I don't remember if I picked Ted DiBiase or I've been wearing the shirt.
I picked Ted DiBiase last time. Okay. But the only reason why I picked it is because today is tax day, so because of IRS,
I didn't even think about that.
Don't forget to pay your taxes.
I didn't even think about that.
If you were trying to get your clues, which you didn't use any of your clues, I would have said, what day is today?
I totally forgot about that. So, but the only reason why I thought about that was because, well, I guess I get a line of thinking because I asked Samoan Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
He said no. I was leaning towards Earthquake because I said, did he reinvent himself later on as Golga?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking because both of them went to WCW.
Mm-hmm.
You said no. And then when I was thinking family history and a tag team, the only person I could think of was IRS.
Yes.
Or, Mike Rotunda.
Yeah.
They wrestled in the 80s. He wrestled in the 80s in WCW, as Mike Rotunda before he came in as IRS.
So his only championship, he had 5-time world tag team champion.
Mm-hmm.
He was 2-time with Barry Windham, which is his brother-in-law or whatever relate to him, and then 3 times with Ted DiBiase as Money Inc. On there, and then he was in the Hall of Fame in 2024 as a U.S. Express, which
but he just made it to the Hall of Fame that late.
Yes,
dang.
So they put that in there for the U.S. in there.
Maybe they need to put Money Inc. And then thinking about tag teams, they need to put Money Inc. in next year.
So he's won the Florida, the NWA, like Florida heavyweight
Like
champion
independent
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But those, like the NWA is not really around, so it really wouldn't count it.
I didn't even think about tax day though, but
they said that let's see. Yeah, so the family history is Blackjack Mulligan is his father-in-law, Barry Windham is his brother-in-law, and Kendall Windham is his brother-in-law. So he has the whole family.
So he technically though, like he started the whole the next generation because his father wasn't a wrestler, but he happened to, and then they married into
3 kids
wrestling.
Which is Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas, and then the other kid I think is a girl, which isn't really wrestling right now. But they said that he was, I don't know if you remember him when he was in WCW.
I remember him in WCW.
He was called VK Wall Street.
Yes, I remember.
Yes. So he was there, or Michael Wall Street in WCW.
We need to see. We need to see if we could do a series if we don't get demonetized. If we can watch these matches, and because I'd like to watch more WCW.
Yeah,
and just be able to watch but do they have it on Netflix to be able to watch just episodes like they used to have for the WWE Network?
They don't, because since WWE sold the WWE Network on there, they compartmentalize certain things.
And how we don't watch weekly episodes?
Like the only thing that you could pretty much do, but you'll probably get demonetized, is they sometimes have the YouTube channel with WCW.
Yeah,
it's like 24/7.
But something like that I'd like to watch, because you got to think, like, I want to see old matches of like Booker T, Harlem Heat, like things like that. The way that WCW used to do, the way that they used to do wrestling before it became this big, battle of the Attitude Era. But
see, and Barry Windham was the Blackjack Mulligan or Blackjack Lanza.
Isn't one of those kids Tessa Blanchard? Isn't Blackjack Mulligan or something like that Tessa Blanchard's dad? Who am I thinking? Blanchard. She's related.
That's Tully Blanchard.
Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
Then it's one of those guys. Then
it might be like let me see. Tully.
But yeah, that's
Tully
what I was thinking. Let me see. I'll just look up Tessa Blanchard.
I already see it. I already have Tully on here. He's part of the 4 Horsemen.
I'm surprised they haven't used Tessa Blanchard to bring her
Joe
back.
Blanchard is his father.
Bring her back from. She's still young. Oh yeah, Magnum TA is who I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah,
Magnum TA. But yeah, she's still young in a sense. I mean, she could come back and
Joe Blanchard was a wrestler too,
and push her career in the WWE for a little bit. But because she's back with Impact Wrestling, I'm surprised she hasn't.
Well, I mean, there's always the whatchamacallit, the Royal Rumble that could possibly
for next year.
Yeah, for her next year, for her to.
But they could have used her
back.
Like I was kind of thinking
because of what's her face?
What's her name that they just got from Impact Wrestling? I can't think of her name right now. But she was the champion. She was the
bodybuilder one.
They're not really using her either.
Nope.
And so it's kind of like...
And I think what they're going to do is when Jade Cargill loses the title, she's going to be buried.
Yeah.
Because I think...
They should never give Jade Cargill the title.
Yeah, they should never give it to her. But I think what they're doing, which should probably be a thing, is like they try to give them like the title for when they come from another company to say like, oh look, we gave you this opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, oh, you came here because you wanted to get gold. Here's, the golden opportunity. But then if they don't go over or whatever, then they're gonna start getting.
But the thing is, with her, it was like, oh, she's real popular, coming from AEW. This, she can't wrestle. She can't wrestle.
She wasn't really popular in AEW. I think that they just
can't wrestle.
I think that they needed more like big, like name people that are from other companies that would defect, so that then they could say, oh, she was from the independents or
but
whatever.
That's my biggest thing.
Like
I will call it like I see it. I don't care whether or not like you can't wrestle. So why are you even in there? Like why do you even get championship? Kind of like Nia Jax. She can't wrestle, but they give her the title.
And every time there, she injures.
She's always injuring something. Like, she's not good, and I think it's to her size. I think that's a whole reason why. And it's tough, for her too, because you don't have like taller women her size that are actually wrestling.
That's why it was weird that they didn't sign on this one tall white chick, because they had kind of like the new Tough Enough is like the LFG or some kind of thing like that. Well, there's this like 6 foot, 7 foot white chick on there. She's really tall, and I would think that they would, want her in the WWE. But I think the problem is like what you said, is like all these other women in the WWE are tiny, and so if like you get somebody like Nia Jax or somebody that's really tall, that are like like almost type tall, that they would demolish them and not be able to like. It's
not a real type of match, and especially too, like I said, you don't have those David Goliath matches like you used to have in the 90s, where you had the small guy. Like you think even the early 2000s, like Rey Mysterio going up against Big Show, and it'd be like, and Big Show could demolish Rey Mysterio, but no, he wins the title, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, like you don't have something like that with the women, because it's like all the women, they're not like super tall you have in the WWE.
And also you think that like the women like have never experienced fighting the tall dude, or the tall chicks or whatever. So it's like they can't do their moves.
No.
So it'd be like, okay, you're trying to do like Sister Abigail to the tall chick, whatever. Like it would look awkward for the little tiny girl to go and
like Alexa Bliss is like 5 feet.
Yeah.
So trying to go up against somebody who's like 7 feet.
It would not look right. And so I think that's the reason why they don't bring in like a bunch of the tall ones. But then it's like, then you get like somebody like Nia Jax. Like the only reason why she's in there is because of
she's part of the bloodline.
Yeah, she's part of the bloodline. So that's the only reason why she's in there. But other than that, it's like she can't wrestle. She should go back to NXT, maybe win the NXT Women's Champion or whatever like that, like to get more practice. But they're not going to do that. Because,
but even then, like who I think would be you need somebody who would be a good trainer, and I think Natty would be a good trainer because she's not only is she is part of the family line, but
I think she would train them really well.
But like, she has a wrestling experience. But I think that's interesting though, because you're not going to really see like the Hart the Bret Hart's like lineage.
Yeah, the Hart dynasty.
They're not really going to have it anymore.
Nope.
And they were real popular.
Natty's not having any kids.
Yeah, and I can't think of anybody else
and Bret Hart's kids are like.
Does Bret Hart have kids?
I don't know if he has any kids.
And then what about his brothers and sisters and all them? Like, I don't see.
They probably like his other brothers or whatever probably do.
Yeah.
But
like Owen Hart's kids as well, they probably aren't.
They may not want to be wrestlers.
And you see, like their family.
Davey Boy Smith, he has his kid who's a wrestler, but like
So I'm saying that's the thing though, is you wonder why they don't get the push compared to like the Samoan dynasty and stuff like that. So that's what's interesting, because I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, you thought about with like Bret Hart, they have a family dungeon, they're training all these wrestlers, and it's like you don't see that anymore. But like somebody like Natty, who's trained through all that, and she's a really good wrestler, she could start training these.
Well, she's trained, but like
these women wrestlers,
like Summer Rae. She's taught.
But even like
what's
today's
that one chick that was basically on Total Divas just to get popular, but she can't wrestle.
Yeah, I know who.
I can't think of what her name is. She's more of an influencer than an actual wrestler. But like Natty tried to train her.
But even having that, like you got to think, like she can start training some of these younger people and start showing them how to be more technical. She should have been the trainer in
that LFG instead of giving it to Mickey James,
because
Mickey James can wrestle.
Mickey James can, yeah.
But still, like they should have given.
But you got to think like a woman's wrestler who's actually going to have the wrestling. Because anytime you saw Natty wrestling, where you ever like, oh man, she's terrible. You're like, no, she's actually really good.
I was expecting her to be good because of her dynasty family.
And I mean,
because if she sucked, I would have blamed it on the dynasty.
They haven't really given her, like, even you see her with the matches with like Maxine Dupree. That's what I was talking about. Like that should have been more of a rivalry, more push, because that was actually good matches, and the feud that they were having going back and forth, that was actually good. But because it's Natty, and Maxine Dupree. I think Maxine Dupree still has time before she's actually big name, but she's like wrestling with Natty. I think she's going to learn so much more than what you expect. So,
but yeah, you got it within 16.
So
that's pretty good. I thought you were going to get it lower.
Yeah.
When you realized, excuse me, when you realized what day it was.
I didn't even think about it.
Because I was like, that's the only reason why I picked it for this, because it landed on tax
I didn't even think about that.
So then, because, if you don't know it on here, you shouldn't be watching the channel, but we're more about the old school stuff. But it's like, everybody pay their tax.
I remember that.
And stuff like that. And so, like, he has the Legends contract where he, I
didn't even think about that
recently and all that, when they'd go in the backstage and so he has the Legends contract.
I don't remember any of that. So,
but I don't remember the U.S. Express. I remember the Midnight Express. I don't really remember too much the U.S. Express.
You remember the Rockers?
But I remember the Rockers and the new Rockers and stuff like that. But I thought that was interesting. I really thought that you were going to get it within like 3 or 4.
I didn't even think about it being tax day. I already did my taxes. So
because when I said that it was, 90s, 80s, and 70s wrestler, I thought that you would have been got towards that real quick, because when you were like, they won the world title? No, they never won the world title. WCW world title? No. Tag team was their only accolade. I thought for sure you'd be able to get
I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it until you started talking about family lineage, and then I was like, yeah, I know who it is.
Yep. Well, that's good. So that's all of our 20 questions wrestling one. He got it in 16, which is good for him. On there, he can't say I cheated on there. Oh, well, here. Is there a mirror back here?
Delete.
I think he...
delete.
I think he cheated. I think he looked on my phone. I think that's what it is.
Was it obsolete? Obsolete?
But, again,
Dark Nectar
16.
Robert Really Gaming.
And we'll see you on the next Tackles and Takedowns.
Have a good one, guys. God bless.
See ya. WrestleMania weekend. Don't forget.